Welcome once again to Conversations in Literature. My name is Eric Rogara, and I'm joined today by the author of Extravaganza and Other Stories. His name is Nyasili Atetwe. Nyasili is an accomplished writer. He has been published variously, for example, in The Heart is a Bastard, which is an anthology edited by Zukiswa Wanner. He has been featured in Equipoise, which is an anthology edited by Kane Prize 2018 winner Makena Onjerika. He has been featured in Lolwe, Kalahari Review, Writer Space Africa, and the Kendeka Prize shortlist. Yes, hi.
Hi.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yes. So, maybe before you start, you can say a few things to introduce yourself.
So I'm that. I think it pretty much sums up who am I as a writer. I'm a researcher. I'm a trained journalist. Yeah.
What are you working on right now?
I'm currently working on a historical novel based on the Chetambe War, which happened in the late 1800s. I've been working on it like throughout this year. It's a story of like the earliest resistance to European occupation in Kenya, which is hardly talked about. It happened concurrently with the Koitalel Samoei resistance. Yeah, and it's a young reader kind of novel.
Who is the hero?
The hero is a guy called Wakoli Okwamukisu, who was once a spy for the Bukusu. He was sent to Nabongo in Mumia. He worked there as a cook, kind of gathered information for the Bukusu people. So when he comes back, he's like elevated to the general of the warriors of that time. So he's the organizer of the war and resistance against Nabongo, who was at that time being backed up by the whites. The bone of contention was they wanted the guns the Bukusu people had amassed. So Mumia, Nabongo Mumia, he had this kingdom which it said straight up to Naivasha. And among the people he found difficult to conquer the Bukusu. So they became like his automatic enemies. And to rise against, like to prevent themselves from being conquered, they organized and started buying guns, making guns, and even abducting caravans from the coast for guns and other goods. So that's the story I'm writing, and it's a kind of time travel.
Where were these guns going in the caravans?
They're going to Nabongo. They're being traded for slaves. The Arabs will bring in guns and these other goods in exchange for slaves. And where are the slaves coming from? From the resisting tribes such as the Bukusus. So there was these very bad blood between Nabongo and the Bukusu people.
Okay, and this was ongoing even before the British came in?
Yes. So what Nabongo does is that he leverages the coming of the British. He was receptive to outside people. So he first embraced the Arabs. And that is why Islam penetrated to Mumias. And up to date, you find Mumias is still, Islam is still a big religion there. And when the whites came, he collaborated with them again. And at that time, in the 80s, there was this British East African company. It was now establishing, and their goal was to suppress or to take control. So Nabongo welcomed them. They didn't find any resistance. So it was so easier for him to convince them to help him quell the Bukusus.
Okay.
And hence the Chetambe War.
What was your process when it came to researching this story?
So this story came to me pretty much earlier than even before I started to write about it. I remember the campaigns of 2002 when Kibaki was just about to get into power, and there was this rally in our market back home, in a village machine in Kitale, near Kitale. And there's this guy who came, and he was on this podium, wooden thing, and he was addressing people. So just curious, me and my friend joined the crowd, and we were listening to him, and he was saying, he was arguing, we as a people have been relegated out of the history of the country. For example, there is a Chetambe War nobody is talking about, and it was a massacre and people died, but that's not what is taught in history books. We only hear of Mau Mau, we hear of Koitalel, yeah, we hear of these other rebellions in the coast, Mekatilili. Chetambe War is it's been swept under the carpet, and I picked it, it stayed at the back of my mind. So when this opportunity came of writing a historical novel, I said, why don't I explore this idea? And so I started digging up material, and quite a bit is written about the war. There are even verbatim accounts of victims, what they experienced. But those verbatim accounts, again, they have been written by whites who were documenting the war. So the internet has helped to give me a sense of what happened, because it wasn't a war that happened in a day. It was a series, 4 key battles involving invasion. So there were 2 initial battles that the Bukusu won, and then 2 others that were catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take you back to when you were born. Yes?
Yes.
What's your most oldest memory?
My most oldest memory?
Not most old, what's your oldest memory? That's not, I'm the one who is massacring the language. I wanted to say what's your most, but I couldn't find the word, so I changed it to oldest. What's your oldest memory?
My oldest memory is me with my mother and my younger sister in Kitale machine, our village, locking up the door in the early evening. Yeah, to just go and sleep.
What do you
And then we are in bed and someone is...
You're in the house?
Yes. And you're in bed and someone is scrubbing the roof.
Scrubbing the roof?
Yeah.
Who was scrubbing the roof?
Of course, the nightrunner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know, but there are these people who like nightrunner, these people who cherish, they don't sleep. Yeah, they don't sleep, and they're seeking company in other people's compounds. Yeah, so you'll be asleep and hear someone walking. He's not really an intruder. He's not interested in getting into your house or even stealing your shoe if you left it outside there. And he's just interested in company. If you give them company, they'll visit you frequently.
You go out and join them?
No, give them company in sense of if you pay attention to their shenanigans.
So they are looking for an audience?
Pretty much.
They are content creators?
Midnight content creators.
Okay. I thought it had something to do with spirituality.
There is a sense of that. Because it's a family thing. Yeah.
It runs in families.
It runs in families. So there are those families that are just known.
Is it a habit in the family or a calling?
I don't think it's a habit. It's something like, it's a possession of the spirit. Yeah. And there are those people who are just known to, families that are known for doing that.
To this day?
Yes.
In the village or even when they come to the city?
I don't know what happens when they come to the city.
The spirits don't live in the city?
I don't know. I don't know how they maneuver the city.
What about the city? I know spirits are tied to the land, right?
Yes.
So maybe when they come, they can't work when you come to another land.
Okay.
But what about towns in Western? Does it still have? Are there people? You go to Kakamega town and you see a nightrunner jumping from a skyscraper. Does it work still in the city, in the town, in the big towns there?
I don't know about that. I've not lived in a town in Western Kenya.
Okay.
My experience are village based.
Okay.
And I've not had like a friend or a close relative who has had that experience living in towns there.
All right.
Yeah.
And is it, since it's still going on today, is it going on with even the youngest generations today?
I think it's
I think we would have had some Gen Z doing night running content by now.
I think they do.
They do.
I think they do. I in the December of 2021, I was at home in December and someone couldn't just let me sleep. And I like you see the wait until they're sure you are awake or something, and then they start to create the commotion. And I was like, I couldn't believe it, because the last time such a thing was happening to me was like in 2002 there. Yeah, the last time I had someone walking in our homestead at night, and this 2021, and I'm like, hey, this thing still happens. So I think it's hereditary. What I'm not sure is if everybody in a family picks it up.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's your earliest memory. How old are you?
Those were my earliest memory. I was about 8 years there.
You don't remember being 6 years old, joining my primary school?
No, my memory, I was about 6 years. My memory refuses to give me anything. When I think, it's like a blank.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the year we were up country.
Which year was this?
Like 86.
86.
Yeah.
All right.
We were up country, and then we came to Nairobi. The next year, my father was working here, so we joined him the next year.
So you've grown up in Nairobi?
At Motela, partly in Nairobi, and then like we transitioned again back to the village in the 90s. So my childhood was split like that in twos. Part in Botella, where we lived, and then part up countries.
What do you remember about media in the 80s or even early 90s growing up? Media, newspapers, TV, if you ever saw TV, radio, music. What are the memories for these three or these four?
So, number one, radio was a big thing. It was like the phone these days. Like each household had it. Yeah, and we only had Voice of Kenya or KBC. So it's either Voice of Kenya, which is KBC, yeah, or BBC, or Voice of America. Yeah, and even those would come at specific hours, because I think they are coming through KBC again. Yeah. And what I remember most is radio. Both radio and television were not 24 hours. So you listen until some minutes to midnight, and then until morning. If you turned on your radio, that is. Until morning. If you turn it on earlier, there's that voice, and then before the presenter comes on air. So you would be like in the studio before the presenter comes on air. And it was a very like the news would start with Baba Moi. We are like updated where he was that day, what he did, what he said, for like the first 10 minutes before they move to anything else. And so between music interludes, there will be these educational programs on, I don't know, education, soil preservation, stuff like that. And then Salam was a big thing. I don't know if you heard about it.
What?
Salamu. Yeah.
What was that?
Like shoutouts.
On the radio?
Yes. It will take like a whole hour, people greeting each other across the country. So we had like
people greeting each other across the country.
Yeah. So what you would do is you buy, it was something like a card. Yeah. It was you bought it. You bought it, and then you said, nataka kutuma salamu kwa so and so here, so and so here. So there were the celebrities of those days who you couldn't miss in a Salamu za Majeshi or Salamu whatever program. Names like, I don't know, Shoto, Munyololo. So it was a big thing, yeah? And people would just tune in to hear themselves being greeted on radio. By then it was national radio. And then there will be, after news, there will be the death and funeral announcements. Yeah. And that was a better substitute to Telegram, which was there by then. And it was like a sort of SMS. We were just told, come quickly, so-and-so is dead. And each letter would cost you some few shillings.
If you sent a telegram, who do I take it to?
The Kenya Posta.
Kenya Posta.
Yeah.
So it's basically a letter.
It's basically a letter, but it was quicker than letters.
What made it quicker?
I don't know. They made it quicker.
Was there a machine?
I'm not sure.
Because letters have to be transported, physically.
Yes.
Were telegrams also transported in the same way?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Perhaps they were telegraphed.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure of the process. So those funeral announcements were better substitutes for telegrams. Became better, and people would just tune in to listen to who's dead where. Yeah. Music wise, I'll be subjective, right? Because in my world, I grew up, it was a Lingala world. Yeah. We had Franco, Tabule, Pepe Kale, Diblo Dibala, Alus came in later. Yeah. Those were if that is not the song I was hearing in our house, then it would be these Swahili rumbas. And occasionally, so my father had an LP, yeah, with those sahanis.
What's an LP? Is it like an album?
No, it's a machine. You open it, though you do open a laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has a hand-like thing with a needle.
Oil Santuri.
Yes.
Okay.
So my father had it, and he had these santuris of all his favorite music. So when he was not busy on holidays, he would open it. He used to cover them he used to wrap them in a cloth, yeah, to prevent the dust, because dust would make them scratchy and therefore useless. He would just play them there, and you're there listening to range from Franco to now Luya music, the likes of Ongaro, Daudi Kabaka, and stuff. So those are the kind of musics I grew up listening to. Not necessarily out of choice, they were the music playing in the house. Yeah.
What about politically? In terms of the politics, celebrities, athletics, sports, basically, and also whatever was happening in the country and other countries around us, and even in the world. I want us to paint a picture of the world coming into your house and you starting to learn about the outside world.
Okay, of course, President Moi was like omnipotent. Yeah, and my dad worked in the government press here at Haile Selassie. And so in those days, it was a very repressive regimes at that time. And the incidents of what they call special branch just coming into our house to check what's inside there. Because when it happened mostly if some important document got lost in the government press, and they're suspecting an employee could be having a hand. So we could have such visitors in our house. They come, they search, they go. Yeah. At that time we didn't understand, because we were kids. We didn't understand what was eating what. Yeah. But the greatest political thing happening in that time was the death of Ouko. Like, the world stood still.
That was 1990.
Yeah, the world stood still, and you could feel it, because I was a pupil at St. Paul's Primary School here at Mbotela, and these helicopters just flying across the sky, and we were called and we were told to go home. It was in the middle of the day, and you could sense something is not all right. We went back home. So Moi was larger than life, and during those days, when he came from abroad, he used to use Jogoo Road to access the city center and get to State House. And whenever he was coming back, we would be taken from class and lined up along Jogoo Road. So with all these school uniforms, lining up along Jogoo Road, we were given flags, and we would stand there for like an hour or so just waiting for Moi. So when he comes, it's like a wave. Yeah, you hear it from that other end of Jogoo Road. Just kids, Nyayo, Nyayo. And then you'll just see him pass, waving and going. That was like the political environment of our time, growing up. Because there were no elections, so we didn't experience the fracas that have characterized our recent years. We just knew we had one president, Baba Moi. He kind of rewarded by giving us maziwa, which never failed to come. In our school, like, we were drinking it like twice a week. UHT, ultra treated. I just remember that. Yeah.
The outside world.
The outside world.
You learning about, so you are learning you're in a country called Kenya, but you're also learning about Michael Jackson or something. They are celebrities, either local or international. And what was happening even around outside the world, how you come to learn of it, even if it's not at that young age, it could be teenage.
Yeah. So first thing is, information is not very readily available. Whatever you know is what the adults around you let you. Yeah. So even this music that I'm growing up with is because the adults around me they love Lingala. Yeah. They buy Lingala cassettes. They love Pepe Kale, Franco. Yeah. Even magazines. Those days were big on magazines and newspapers. The magazines that will come into the house will be those that the adults have accessed and think they are good for our consumption. Yeah. So my knowledge about the outside world is actually gaining traction in my teenagehood. When now my elder brother is at campus, yeah, and is coming back. And then now we had transitioned to the village because my father had retired. So my elder brother is back from the campus and is telling me about this Tupac Shakur. And I'm interested to know more about him, yeah. He's telling me about Michael Jordan. He's telling me about Magic Johnson, yeah. And the music I'm listening to is also shifting now from Lingala and Rumba to R&Bs. The Mary J. Blige, Robert Kelly.
On the radio?
Even on the radio, because now we don't just have KBC Kiswahili service. We also have KBC English service, and there is where now you find programs such as The Beat in the afternoon. You find programs like Sundowner in the evening. At late night, we also had a music interlude after the news and some announcements, adverts. And so that is kind of opening me up to more than just what's happening around in Kenya. When Mike Tyson, for instance, is fighting Evander Holyfield, I'm rooting for Mike Tyson. Yeah, because
which year is this?
It's in 1996-97.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Mike Tyson because kind of I'm socialized to worship him. And then he's beaten and he bites Evander's here. I don't get the opportunity to watch the match live, yeah, because it's coming at 4 a.m. And 4 a.m. here, our media is like asleep, yeah. So we'll just get the news, second-hand news, like a section in the bulletin. Yeah, Tupac is shot.
You learned of that when
Yes.
it happened?
Yes. By that
On
time,
the radio?
Yes, on the radio.
How did you feel?
At that time, I'm like in love with these guys. Yeah, I've transitioned from myself. I'm in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the death of Tupac kind of is a sad thing to me. And then later I will learn about his beef with Notorious B.I.G. And there are, even up to still today, so many conspiracies of what killed him, why he died. And these are the things we are talking with my friends in high school, like arguing, this must have killed this, all these theories. You're just banding them. Like a subplot again, reggae music is a big thing to me. Because I think exposure to media, in the sense when Bob Marley's day reaches, is it 21st May, and KBC English service is it like it stands still to commemorate him. you hear of this guy and then you realize this guy died 20 years ago, but he's still a big thing. And his music is still makes sense. Yeah. So the kind of subtle opening up of the media also opens up my mind and the mind of people around me to not just appreciate what we've grown on, but also to appreciate what is happening outside the world.
Books.
Books. I started writing in my teenage years, and it was pretty much driven by the fact that I was a good composition student. The languages were easier for me, both Kiswahili and English. And secondly, I didn't struggle to come up with stuff. So when I came up with stuff and they're in good language, there is no way I would get, it was out of 40. I will always be scoring above 30, going up. So I get hold of Mwangi Gisheru. Is it Mwangi Gisheru? No.
Mwangi Gisheru.
Yeah. Across the Bridge. And then I read it. And then I say, I could do this. I could do this. Based on what I've been doing, I could also do this. A longer thing. And that seed is planted in me. So I start writing in small, in exercise books, and just taking a novel into chapters and giving up with it, sharing it with my classmates, and they're like, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle I give up with it. I think I sink into a writer's block, and then another story hits me. I rush with it. My high school years, in my high school years, I don't write much. That happened because of the demands of the KCPE itself, because you are rushing for that grade. So I kind of told myself, let me settle on this once I'm done with my KCSE. So I put it, especially in Form 3, I put on hold on it. What hasn't changed, what didn't change, and what hasn't changed even today when I'm hit by a block is I kind of don't stop reading. So I'm reading the set books, and I'm doing additional readings even in our school library. After,
what are your favorite books at this point?
At that point, again, influences. My brother did English literature, and he would unconsciously, let me say, introduce me to the likes of Achebe, Elechi Amadi, Ngugi. So Ngugi, I didn't have access to texts, but I will know about him. And in those days, Sunday Nation was, even from those days, Sunday Nation was like my go-to when I wanted to know what's happening in the world of literature. So I will get the newspaper perhaps on Monday in our school library and just read about whoever they have serialized or they have featured in the newspaper. Yeah.
Okay.
So after high school, I'm at home with a lot of time in my hands. Finding books, something to read is a hassle. At that time, we used to read. Me and my 4 friends, used to read. We will get a book and share it amongst us. So at that time, I got there was this organization called Writers Bureau in the UK, and they were offering training on writers, and I saw it in the newspaper, and I applied. After a month or so, they sent me. You know, at that time, poster was the only way. So after a month, they sent me a whole prospectus and everything I needed to pay to start. So it would be by correspondence. Yeah. And it is self-paced, where you learn a lesson, you do the assignments, and then you send.
Which year is this?
This is 202 there. 201.
Okay. So the internet is still...
The internet is nowhere in existence.
Correspondence
Yes.
courses are still a thing at this point.
At that time?
At this point, yeah, 202.
Yes. So I really want to get into this because they are telling you, they are giving you a guarantee of your money back if you don't get published after the course. So they are doing 2 things. They are training you to write, and whatever you write, yeah, they will find market for your work. That's why they are giving you a money back guarantee. It wasn't. If you look at the current economy, it wasn't a lot of money. It was like 30K, the whole course.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You said it's not a lot of money.
At that time, it was.
No, even today, it's a lot of money still for a course.
That's a fee for a semester.
Is it? Well, it's not a university, so
Yeah. So
how long is it?
no, it was self-paced.
No, like how long is the training? Like, is it? How many lessons do you have? You know,
There were like 30 lessons.
30 lessons.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were like 30 lessons.
So 30 lessons is like a lesson today, a lesson. 30 lessons.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But because of it's a correspondence thing, and you have to do send, they read, they give you feedback. So it was bound to like stretch.
Okay.
So I sell this idea to my parents. They're excited, and then they're like, "So will you be going to London?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Okay." And the idea dies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do?
I keep reading and dreaming. So I keep reading, dreaming, writing. Yeah. Into a.
What are you writing?
I wanted to write a novel, like seeing what Mangi Gisheru had done. I'm reading the likes of Chinua. I'm reading the likes of Elechi. I'm reading the likes of Sidney Sheldon, Wilbur Smith, James Hadley Chase. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know short stories existed, and if they did, yeah, to me at that time, I can't say I didn't know they existed because it was part of our set books. Yeah. To me, I would say they were like belittling myself to write them. Yeah. I wanted something big to just write a novel. And so I'm starting these books, yeah, that I don't finish. In 204, I meet this, in 204, is it 204? 203, I get this job to sell in a tuck shop. You know a tuck shop? At the UN. So
at my school, we had a tuck shop. It was a shop with a tank on top of it. It was a tank shop.
It's not a tank shop, a tuck shop. These shops inside hostels.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing that before I go to college. Okay. So I'm always writing. Yeah. When the traffic, people like would wake up and come and buy, yeah, and then during the midday hours there is less traffic, yeah. So during the less traffic, I'm taking that time to put my imaginations on paper. So there's this guy who always, when he came to buy something, he always found me writing, and then one day asked me, "What are you always writing?" Yeah. And I told him a novel, and then he said, "Can I have a look?" I was secure enough to pass I was doing it in an exercise book, yeah, because computers were still a technology out of reach as compared to how they are readily available today. So I'm writing this. So he read it and he disappeared. Yeah, he just said good. Then another time he comes, he returns later. He tells me there is this competition. I think you should enter. Yeah, it's being organized by he was a literature student, by our Professor Indangasi. And would you be interested? I said, yeah. So he connects me to Indangasi. He gives me his number. I call him. It was landline that time.
Okay, I wanted to ask you if you had a phone.
It was landline that time, yeah.
The number to his office or to his house?
To his office.
Okay.
Yeah, I call him. I tell him I'm a writer. I have this book I would like to submit. Yeah, and he says, okay, you can bring it. So I head to the education building at UN with my manuscript, and I hand it
the exercise book.
Not the exercise book. It's now typed. My sister helped me to typeset it.
What are you using? Typewriter? Computer?
Computer.
Okay.
Yeah. She used her office computer to help me.
Okay.
Yeah. Typeset it, and we bind it together. Yeah, sure. In an envelope. I head to education building, and I find the prof. He takes my manuscripts and tells me we'll get back to you. So not exactly get back to you. He gave me like a timeline. Call me after this time. So I called him. Yeah. And he remembered me, and then he told me, okay, we went through your manuscript. Unfortunately, we didn't consider it.
Okay.
It was basically a first draft, like a mishmash of my imagination put together, running over, flowing. So in that call, I asked him if I could go to him so that he can tell me what I need to do, where are the areas I could improve on. And he was agreeable. So I made a second visit. And in the second visit, he told me they could see a story in there, yeah, but it wasn't well told. There was a lot I needed to learn. So the advice he gave me is to like bring it down, calm down, start with short stories and see how it goes. So I wrote a short story because that was 2003. In 2004 the competition came. So when it came, I didn't enter the novel category. The competition was being organized by the Kenyan National Book Council. I didn't enter the novel category. I entered the short story category. And in that year I was successful. So I came second runners up. The person who took the top prize was Tom Boyer. He was then a news anchor at Nation. Yeah. And it was okay. I can do it. It was like, yeah, a validation of my long dream. But then what happens now after then is I again sink into unproductive years. Creatively. What didn't change was that I kept reading. I kept reading and kept writing, though in fits and starts, not very regularly, not continuously, not finishing up things I've started. I'll start.
Are you still writing novels?
I'm doing one now.
No, not today. That time. Those unproductive years.
Yes, I'm
still not doing short stories.
I'm doing novels. I'm doing short stories. Yeah.
Poetry.
I told you I'm a failed poet.
At what point do you start writing poetry?
Poetry, I did it mostly in my teenage years, and it was me just putting down my romantic fantasies on paper. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I'm in my 30s, I just gave up with the whole thing because I'm now, the internet is on, yeah, and I'm kind of reading other people. I am realizing I can't really summarize my mind in the way these other poets are doing. What don't I just focus my energies in what I can do best? Yeah. So there is a huge hiatus between 2004 and 2018, which I would say is my watershed in my writing.
Between 2004 and 2018?
Yes.
A hiatus from writing?
In terms of being productive.
Define being productive, because you are still writing.
Yes, I'm still writing, but what I'm writing is not gaining any traction. It's not headed anywhere.
What does that mean? It's not getting published?
It's not getting published. Yeah.
But you are submitting to magazines, journals,
I'm submitting
competitions?
Yes. I'm doing all that.
You can tell us some of the competitions, magazines, journals you tried in those years, rejections you got, any friends you made in the writing community, mentors you met
at that time,
between 2004 and 2018.
Between 2004 and 2018.
Yes.
Like now, some of the people in the literary space I interacted with are like Indangasi. I'm interacting with Jared Angira. He was he's a poet.
He's a poet.
Yeah.
Blossoms of something? Or Echoes of something? I think I remember. Echoes of Darkness or something? Echoes from the Dark. I had that in high school. There's a collection of poetry or something.
Yes.
Or Blossoms. I don't remember what it was called. Maybe him, but yeah, I remember that name. Jared Angira.
Jared Angira. I don't know where he is nowadays.
Was he a professor or something? A lecturer?
He was a scholar.
Okay.
Yeah. The last time I heard of him, he had flown out of country in some universities. I don't know, in Botswana or something. So, and then I'm meeting Billy now, Billy Kahora, in 2010. After having submitted to Kwani had a short story competition, which I submitted my story. It was 2008 there, because
What was the theme of the competition?
Yes, the theme of the competition was centered around the violence.
Yeah, I guessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was centered around the violence. And because of the violence, I had written a short story, I Fear My Dreams, which was published in Storymoja's blog. It was like my first published story.
I think I saw it.
Yes.
I saw it when I was researching for this this interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like my first published story, I Fear My Dreams. But before I sent it to them, I had submitted it to this competition. And I wasn't longlisted, I wasn't shortlisted, but it gave me entrance into the workshop, short story workshop they had planned that year.
Kwani?
Yes. So I'm meeting Billy Kahora.
2010?
Should be 2009 there. I'm meeting Billy Kahora. I'm meeting Mudhoni.
Mudhoni who? Mudhoni Galland?
Yeah, Mudhoni Galland.
Okay.
She taught us about setting in the workshop. I'm meeting this Nigerian.
Chimamanda?
Not Chimamanda. The short story writer, his name is escaping me. So in that forum, I'm now really like, it's the first time I'm understanding what writing is. Yeah. Because now the elements, like when we're taken through the workshop, the elements of writing are broken down. Character, setting, voice. Yes. And we're even taken through like editing your own work. And so from that, I'm able now to like take another story and read it and like see behind the scene, kind of how it came into being. I'm starting to understand, okay, this writer should have been intending to do this. Yeah. So that is 2009. Yeah. And Facebook is here. The internet is now becoming ubiquitous. And there are more like opportunities for connection. But again, as much as I'm writing and reading, yeah, there are no headways in terms of publishing. So why? Because again, now the demands of life. I'm married, yeah, and capitalism is like strangling me. I have to.
How far back? That 2010?
Yeah.
Okay.
capitalism is like on my neck. I have to take care of things here and there, and time for writing and reading is squeezed. But in 2018 now, yeah, I reach my watershed and say either I'm doing this thing or not.
Okay, before we come to 2018, something you said which I want to hear about. You said voice.
Yes.
So, what's your story about finding your voice?
I'm not sure I've found my voice. Yeah, because like in my interactions with other people's work, and even in these workshops, residencies I've attended, I've come to understand voice as it's like a writer's fingerprint. Yeah.
If it's the writer's fingerprint, have you found your fingerprint?
I'm not sure.
No, I mean like your fingerprint. Have you found it? Like, you didn't find it. It's just there, right?
But this.
It probably means you have the voice, but you just are not aware of what distinguishes it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the right person to tell whether I have a voice. It's like me reading.
You're a writer. Your readers have not told you.
The ones I've interacted with have not. Yeah, because if I read,
voice is not just the style of the prose.
Yes,
it's the choices you make in grammar. It's the choices you make in them. So when Goge writes about oppression, that shapes how the words he will use. That shapes his voice, right?
Yes.
So it's the choices. So for you, your story is probably, let's say I had Odhiambo Kauma here, and he said he likes to write about the village, not the city. So you see, that's a choice.
Yes.
So you could analyze it from that point of view, like how you started realizing what you want to write about.
All right. That simplifies it then.
We make it this mystical thing of voice. It's as simple as the choices you make, and also subconsciously what you end up writing about.
That simplifies it because the stories I'm at home writing, like Kauma, they're set in the village. I'm borrowing them from the reservoir of my childhood, my growing up, my teenagehood, my young adult days. And there are stories that when I write, someone who reads them will say, "You've taken me back." Yeah? Like there is a story I wrote, Grave Diggers of Machine, which is online. And a friend in the US read it and came to my inbox and told me, I've not been home for the last 15 years. And this story just took me back. I find it so easy to create those scenes, to create those dialogues. I'm essentially like just picking from a diary of my past. I struggle with writing city stories.
You're in the anthology, The Heart is a Bastard.
Yes.
Was your story not a city story?
It's a city story.
Okay.
It's a city story, and I chose it deliberately because I was trying to come out of my comfort zone. During that time, I had just gone through Makena Onjerika's class, master class. And some of the stories I workshopped were already published. I wanted to do something different. And unlike what I write when I'm writing about the village, what I'm writing about town is what I have to observe.
Here you are talking about the story in Equipoise or in The Heart is a Bastard?
Heart is a Bastard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heart is a Bastard. Even Equipoise is a
city.
Yeah, it's a city story.
Okay.
most city stories I've done are things I've observed, yeah, and I can't just sit and write them. I find myself having to research, yeah, to understand these characters more. And like what I'm drawing from my past, where I just need music to trigger me, music that we listen to that time, to trigger me, to transport me back. So when you understanding voice from that dimension makes sense.
So when you change it from your comfort zone, you say you write about the village, that's your comfort zone. You've written these 2 stories about the city. They've been published in these anthologies. What remains of you in this music, whatever? Because there must be some things you have always done, even in those city stories, that you have always done. So it's not necessarily that you have to write about the village, since you did write about the city, right? So what was it that was interesting to you? What is it, themes, specific types of characters, specific types of plots? Yeah,
I'm always intrigued by things I do not know or understand.
okay.
Like I could be in a mat going some direction, and then we pass a chum, like going into a shanty place or just some residence, and then I'm just a thought, who lives here? What does it mean to be going down there every other day? I'm intrigued by things like those, yeah. I'm intrigued by people who are not necessarily in my circle, people who I wouldn't like naturally associate with, yeah. I always want to try to understand like their worldview. Like this story in The Heart is a Bastard, Take Me Home, is triggered by this kid I was passing every Sunday on my way to church. And one thing I would notice that she was brought very early and left by the roadside at a very strategic place, a busy junction. And I started wondering, like, when she's there, what is she thinking? Yeah, does she want to be there? What is her day like? And even in my earlier drafts, yeah, that is the kind of person I was creating. And then I realized this story has no agency. Like, this is a helpless child, yeah. So my first drafts are like, it's like a news story where you're just reporting. And then I realized I need to inject some agency in this story to give this character a purpose. So her thing would be freedom, yeah. So how does a child who is disabled, yeah, and dropped in some quarter of the city she doesn't understand, how does she free herself? So to flesh it out, I realized I didn't know more. So I watched YouTube videos, I researched newspaper articles, and I realized it's a big problem in this city. And it's fueled by it's a whole network of people benefiting from it. There are people importing disabled children from Tanzania and bringing them to Kenya. Yeah, they bring them and they sell them to someone. And this someone puts the kid in the street. They only feed them, yeah, and give them some shelter for a few hours of the night, and then return them to the street. So that is the story. I'm telling the story of that girl, and there is a lot of sexual abuse in between. So I'm telling the story of this girl, and research comes in handy. It came in handy in my case when I was now looking for urgency, which will then make the short story a short story rather than a news article.
Have you written about the Nightrunners?
I am.
It sounds like a core memory.
I am.
You are. You have or you are?
I am.
In the novel?
Listen, it's 2001 in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has woken me up, yeah, and is doing some shenanigans on the roof, yeah, and so I'm awake, very angry, yeah, and I don't want to show him I'm giving him attention because he will like escalate. So I'm like, why can't I make good of this experience? And so I on my phone, I just started drafting the story.
Which year?
This is 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. I just started drafting the story. It's in my, by now it's a second draft.
Mm.
I've only shelved it to finish with this historical novel. So, yeah, it's coming.
So, between 2004, let's say 2010 and 2018, you're still writing.
I'm still writing.
You're still going for events.
I wasn't going for events.
Are you meeting any new people in the writing world at this time?
No. What I was doing, yeah, was just following up what's going on in the literary scene. And in those years now, Nation had switched from Sunday to Saturday. Saturday Nation was it came in very handy in me trying to understand what's going on locally and abroad, and I wouldn't miss it. Yeah. So, two things. One, I had not appreciated like the value of community for a writer, and also I had not appreciated like fully the value of writing as a skill. I was big on writing as, say, a talent where you have the ability of creating stories. I think everybody can, yeah. I was focused more on that, ignoring this other bit of you don't need just to write stories. Your stories need to work, yeah. And for you to make them work, you need to learn these conventions. I remember in one of our classes we were told you learn the rules to break them, but you can't break them successfully until you know them. So I was breaking them not knowing they exist, and it wasn't working. I was following this advice of keep writing. So I kept writing. Keep writing is a good advice, but you need to understand what you're writing. Hence, the value for skills.
You need to understand what you're writing. What does that mean?
You need to understand, yeah, if you're creating this character, for instance, yeah, what is their character arc, yeah, what role is he playing in a story, for instance? When you're creating dialogue, yeah, is it dialogue that is helping the story? You know, there is dialogue that kind of slows down the story. In the sense, even without the dialogue, the story would work. Yeah. And these things come by learning. And when I now learned the skill of writing, I became even a better reader. Because I read your story, yeah, and I am able to dissect what you're doing in the story, you as the writer. So I can read your story in 2 dimensions. I can read to enjoy it, and I can read to dissect it. When I'm reading to dissect it, I'm reading for my own benefit as a writer, to learn from you. How have you handled your point of view narration, for instance?
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about workshops, competitions, you know.
Yeah.
People you've met now. I imagine it's from 2018.
Yes.
You said 2018 was a watershed. You can tell us what led to what was the watershed specifically?
It's January 2018. Yeah. And I'm just I think it's this time when people are saying, this year I got to do this, I got to do this. Yeah. And for me it was like an existential threat or something, because I have this very terrible dream. And in it, I'm the person in the coffin.
Okay.
I'm the person in the coffin, and then they are taking me to the grave. Yeah. And I wake up. The first thing, I wake up and sit on the bed. Like, sit, get your feet down. Yeah. And I'm thinking, what is this? I mean, the first question that comes to me is, you call yourself a writer. What have you ever produced? At that time, this novel I was working on, like I'm abandoning it, writing a short story here, and then I come back to it, I read it, and then I say, let me start again. Then I abandon it somewhere. I told myself, no, go back, pick it, yeah, and finish it. And I did that in 3 months. Now I was more consistent. In 3 months I finished it. And then Kwani puts out a call, training people on again a short story workshop. Lasted 1 week. We met at the Elephant. They say, send us what you've written. Yeah. What I've written recently is this novel I've finished. So I just pick the first chapter and I send. And they are cool. They're giving you a slot. So I go there, I meet other writers. I meet Yvonne Adhiambo. I meet Edith Knight. I meet Billy Kahora. We were like 12 in that workshop. And now we have, like this week when we are dissecting, they have printouts for us.
Who are the facilitators, the trainers?
Billy Kahora and Yvonne.
Okay.
Yeah. They have furnished us with this printout, so we are not dissecting stories. We are looking at character in a deeper sense. Yeah. And then I realized, hey, I've not even read let alone write. Like, out of the workshop, I come up with my read list. And then I realize something else. Just apart from reading other people's work, as a writer, you need to read about writing. And there are so many books on that. So from that, I meet Edith Knight. Edith tells me there is this group I belong to. It's called Writer Space Africa. If you wish, I can ask them to add you. It's a WhatsApp group by then, yeah, but it's continental, and it has chapters. So there's the Kenyan chapter, and I say, cool. So I joined WSA that way in 2018, and from there I start to appreciate the value of communities for writers, because previously it didn't make sense. Yeah, I was thinking like writers should write. What are you meeting to talk? Yeah, sit home and write. But we so WSA connects me to writers locally and abroad. Yeah, and as this is going on, because now I've realized like the two responsibility I have for myself in terms of reading, I also start to read about writing from authors like David Corbett, Nancy Crest, yeah, who have whole books on character development. And in 2020, in 2019 now, I see Makena now advertising her masterclass. I apply, she looks at my material, she tells me I can join, but I don't that year because I didn't have the funds. In 2019 now, December, she gets back to me and asks me if I'm ready. Yes, I am, but I'm not ready financially. But we like kind of come up with an agreement on how I could be paying small. She ends up giving me a whole scholarship of the class. Now that cumulatively like breaks me out of the mold now, because from that class now my writing starts going places, from publications in WSA to now all these other anthologies where I've featured, including now writing my own anthology. So those two things really lifted me up out of obscurity, so to speak. Yeah.
There are more anthologies, I know.
Yes. So in 2020, I'm featured in Gelada. That is just a few months while I was still in Makena's class. I'm writing. You know,
what have you learned in Makena's class that has so caused this transformation for you in terms of opportunities?
Like the mechanics of writing. Yeah.
There's some one or two.
Because unlike the 1 week, this runs for a whole month. Yeah. And in this class, you are able to workshop. Like one of the requirements is you have to send in your work, the work that you will be refining as the class goes on. Yeah. And there are also these other writing assignments you're given, which you submit per week. Okay. And we started in January, we ended in April, throughout the COVID period. And you, one, start to see how other people from the workshops, you start to see how other people interpret you, which is not obvious, yeah, when you're working alone in a silo. And two, you start to also appreciate how other people put together their stories in a way that communicates what they wanted to say. And so when you sit down to develop yours, you are a more informed writer than you were without that knowledge. And that made a difference in my case.
Okay.
Because now in 2021 I submit to Kendeka and I'm longlisted. The story ends up in another anthology. In 2022 I am invited in this residency. I apply for this residency by Zukiswa. Successful, and my story Take Me Home is featured in the anthology The Heart is the Bastard. In the same year, so this should have happened in around 2020-2021 when Kinyanji Kombani, in his socials he said, I want to create a group, yeah, where writers, we are checking on each other and we are writing every day. If you're interested, send me your contacts. And I said, okay. I jumped onto it. So we are writing every day. You just send in your word count, and he's developing this spreadsheet where you can trace how many words you've written in a week, in a month, yeah. And then he finishes his project and exits. But wherever we are left behind, we continue with the spirit. And in that group, an editor from Storymoja says, we are having this project. Whoever is interested can DM me. And then I DM him. It gives birth to Extravaganza and other stories. So community and skills development have really pulled me up, and I think they are essential for any writer who like to avoid making mistakes, the kind of which I did.
So now you're working on you finished with the what do you call it, with the workshops and so on. You're working on something of your own right now? A novel, you said?
Yes, the historical novel.
For the Chetambe War?
Yes. But it's a part of Shizu series.
Okay.
By Storymoja.
Ah, okay.
So I mean the final bits of it. Yeah, I'm hoping to finish it as soon as possible and then jump onto my nightrunner story.
Your nightrunner story, will it also turn into a novel? Maybe.
It's a novel.
Oh, it's a novel?
Yes.
Ah, fantastic.
It's a novel. Yeah, and it's so it's something that I grew knowing. It has also cost me to do some research, because I'm interested to know, like, Yes, there is this thing that it runs in the family, yeah. But I'm interested to know, like I found a scholar in TUK arguing that night training is actually an indigenous knowledge that we are first discarding because of modernity and stuff.
What's the value of night running according to him?
According to him, night running has health values.
For who?
The individual running at night. He was arguing night runners are slim.
What if you join a marathon? Same advantages, eh?
Same advantages.
What's the difference? Like, what's the...
But
why
the incentive here is...
What is the value in kusumbua watu wakilala? No, I mean, like, you know, if it's about health, you could join a marathon, right?
Yes. But he was hugging it like that. He's hugging it like that. It's
no, I mean,
it's
like,
a journal article, actually.
It has to be a good argument. Like, how did he rationalize that? Because if I could run during the day, jog or whatever, it's still the same thing, right?
It's the same thing.
So then, what makes night running specifically, and especially running naked and at night and causing disturbance, what specifically about those things are of value?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think you're also risking pneumonia and stuff.
I don't know, maybe the writer was comes from those families, you said.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had to like research, and BBC had a documentary on it, and it was focused on Nyanza mostly. You know, Nyanza, there is an association of night runners in Homa Bay, actually.
Okay.
And they're always agitating that the government acknowledges them.
So the community always knows who is a night runner and who isn't.
Yeah, it's
not. There's no shame to it.
There is. You can't just say I'm a night runner.
But if they have an association, they have just said.
Okay.
Or is it a private society?
In Homa Bay, I don't know.
Okay.
But from where I come from, you just can't stand and say, my name is so-and-so, I'm a night runner. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't. And like those are the families where you're told, don't marry there.
Is there anything to do with like witchcraft? You know, like magic, you know, anything associated with that, considering they are running naked at night at the devil's hour, so to speak.
Okay, one thing I will tell you, I don't think it's a natural thing.
Okay.
I don't think.
You say possession. You say the person is possessed.
It has to be, but they have to be using some supernatural stuff. Because
not bangi.
Bangi is not supernatural because it's so difficult for you to get that guy.
Oh, okay.
It's so difficult.
So that's why I'm asking. Use drugs to get into another zone.
But you know, the drugs could dull you to a point that you get arrested. Right?
No. Well, it depends on which drugs. You know, like cocaine. Probably we have a traditional version of that.
I don't know. I don't know if ancestors said cocaine.
Not cocaine. It's just a traditional thing, maybe. Herbs, some type of herb, maybe, that gets you into that spirit
zone.
Because otherwise, how do you get into that zone?
Like in the documentary, in the Nyanza documentary, from which I borrowed ideas to shape this story. A lady is married into a family where they not right. So they take her through some rituals to orient her. And after she's taken through, when it reaches a certain hour in the evening, she finds it restless to stay indoors. So she has to go out. Yeah.
After the rituals?
Yes. So her getting into night running is not.
So what kind of rituals are they? Slaughtering or something?
If I remember well, like she was.
Any chanting?
She was. Perhaps I need to go back to it, but she was, because it's available on YouTube. She was made to take some herbs.
I
Yeah.
told you.
Yeah.
Herbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
And then after that,
mm.
she's just restless.
Yeah, because I know, even I was reading about, like from my side, about these prophets or seers or whatever they are called. There are some who there's something you're born with.
Yeah.
It's in your family,
Mm.
sure. And then there's a time when you will start getting mad, losing your mind if you don't go that side, right? But then there's also herbs I read about that they would get, and once they had 3 types of herbs. Once they had consumed these herbs, so the first level of herbs will give you certain powers because they sort of unleash something in the brain. You know how we say, for instance, that how like you can have intuition.
Yeah.
It's your brain, right?
Yeah.
So that part which gets the intuition, let's say it was like really open, or I don't know the terminology, you could be able to predict the future, right? You become clairvoyant. And there are people who are that. Or you could, they even talk about walking through walls, things like that. Yeah, so there are many things that we don't, and you're laughing. There are many things that
They are there.
there are things that we don't understand today because, and our minds, because we are educated the Western way.
Yes.
So the way we view reality is different from how our ancestors viewed it.
Yes.
So our ancestors would laugh at us because we have a very limited perception when it comes to what the world is. For them, such things would be very normal.
Yeah.
This is like these stories of people sitting on brooms and flying off.
They are real.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
But there's something that makes it possible for them and not for other people, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe eventually science will understand these things. Elon Musk is doing the Neuralink and things like that. So probably they will understand more about the mind, and we will start flying, self-healing when we get injured, like when you watch those superhero movies.
Yes.
Like Deadpool, he never dies. Such things are going to be normal one day.
Yeah.
And then now the modern world will be more like the traditional world in that sense. Witchcraft or magic and science. What science, magic, indistinguishable. Once you go far enough in science,
Yeah.
it becomes more like magic. I believe so.
I think so. It's only that like the transfer of that knowledge is interrupted by so-called Western civilization, because then our attention was switched to giving prominence to whatever is coming from the West, as compared to whatever our great grandparents and great grandfathers knew. Yeah.
Yeah. So any parting shot?
I think for me the most important thing for a writer today is to know that there is so much options for developing yourself available, and there's no writer who doesn't read. Anyone who writes without reading is lying to themselves. And any writer who doesn't, who's just writing and keeps writing, yet they have not taken time to understand the mechanics of the craft, they are bound to hit hard walls. And this may dissuade them from continuing to write. I've always wanted to write. That is why even when it wasn't working, I would still like pick up myself and move on until when literally I saw the light. And today today options are so many. Online you can self-teach yourself. There are YouTube videos you could watch. There are institutions that are now like appreciating creative writing as a course. Like now where I work at Kenya College of Interior Design, there is that course. And there are students who are coming out to learn the craft. And there should be more. Yeah, there should be more of such locally. Because when you compare with the West, for instance, they have whole programs where people learn the craft of writing. And you see some of the most successful of our writers have gone through those programs. So that process cannot be ignored, because it makes the difference between you making headway and you staying in obscurity. And then community, we can no longer, it's 21st century and we can no longer again afford to write in isolation. Like currently we have a group where we and it's just a suggestion by Makena, where we meet in the morning, not to just talk or do anything. You just log in and you tell people, I'm here for an hour. You either do your reading or do your writing. After the group, by 7, we sign out. If you have anything to say about your writing or reading experience, you share. And you see that keeps you motivated, in the sense of you know, tomorrow at 6:50 I need to join these people. I need to spare some time to get some 300 words, 500 words on paper. Yeah, and it keeps one going. So those two things will make a difference. They did for me, they can do it for anybody.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sparing the time and a lot of mental effort to remember that you can share some of these insights. So there again, this was Conversations in Literature. We were with Nyasili Atetwe. Until next time, my name is Eric Rogara. Some people know me as Miyamoto Mswahili. Conversations in Literature is sponsored by Nairobi Academic Press. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel, Roaring Simba Network.